Hello students, welcome back to the another session of this growth models, and since we have already explained about the exponential growth, let us now first go to the next topic, that is the logistic growth. Now when we talk about this logistic growth, let me first recapitulate that what we have learnt in the exponential growth. Exponential growth, what we have got the kind of the formula, that is the integral formula we got, that is nt is equals to n0 equal e rt. So this is actually what we call as a power, right? So when we revolve this one, actually we calculate in such a manner and we see, since it is to the power, so what we see, any kind of organisms, they are growing too much in an exponential manner. Like if we talk about this, suppose we take 2 to the power of n, then if n is 1, that means 2 to the power of n, the 2 will be there, bacteria. This bacteria will again reproduce and this 2 will become 4. This 4 will become 8, it will become 16, and this is the exponential growth pattern which we have already learnt in the exponential growth curve. Now we come to the logistic growth over here, which is actually explained in a different manner. What is the first point which I have tried to make over here? That is, no population of any species in nature has its unlimited resource, right? So whatever we have learnt in the exponential growth, little bit it is different over here. What it is telling, that actually there is no such unlimited resource which is available in our environment. There is always a limit. It cannot be an unlimited resource which is available to a particular organism. So what will happen if there is an unlimited resource? Then all the organisms will be reproducing in such a manner. So one day all the resource will come to an end. There will be no limit. There will be no one to check. And what will happen? All of a sudden the ecosystem will crash. So this doesn't happen. The nature has actually limited. The nature has actually limited the resource, and if the nature has limited the resource, that is actually limiting the population growth also, right? So suppose we say that in most of the countries, or if we take our countries, a particular couple, how much they can produce in their whole life long. It cannot be unlimited. Though we know the reproductive age is starting from the age of 12 or 13. So that means till the age of 40-45, a particular female child will be able to reproduce how many times the babies. But it doesn't happen because the resource is not actually there with that particular couple. Resource over here means the food, resource over here means the space, resource over here means the money. So what is happening? This is actually the nature has checked. The nature has checked the growth of the population in case of human being also. That particular couple might have maximum number of babies in their lifetime, 7, 10, 15, which we used to hear from our grandmothers, grandfathers, or maybe the great grandfathers. So not more than that in their lifetime. But now if you talk about, we are very much logical to limit our reproduction rate. So now if you talk about the human population increase, so obviously a particular couple is not having a child more than 4, maximum 4. That is also not happening. So nature has limited. I am just giving an example of human being. So it can be actually possible for all the different species in our ecosystem, right? So the no population, that means population of any species is referring to whatever insects, microorganisms, till the human beings in nature has its unlimited resource. That means unlimited resource is not there. So in this case what happens? They don't permit this exponential growth. That means this exponential growth is actually proved false over here. This cannot happen in our nature, right? It is not logical. Now what will happen? To some extent, this particular resource, when it will end up, or it is the limited, then it happens what? There is a competition. If the resource is limited, then it comes a competition among the population. Now this competition, each and every one of us has to take part somehow or the other, even if we don't want to, right? And in this particular competition, we see there is a survival. Who will be surviving in this limited resource? this is a competition between the organisms, and obviously we know who will be able to survive, who will be able to struggle will be fittest, and we call that one as this fittest will only survive. Individually we can say that organism is surviving if they are being able to compete with the limited resource, right? Now for this I can give you an example, like suppose we have already learned before. If I draw a particular leaf over here, and we know that a particular insect, so when we talk about a leaf, let me make it green. So usually the leaves are green in color. So in that case, suppose I take an insect. The insect used to live over here. That insect is somewhat greenish in color, right? So what will happen? This insect, which is actually fed by a bird. Suppose a bird is there who is feeding this insect, right? The same species of insect, maybe it is red in color, which is sitting in this leaf, right? So what will happen over here? All of us, we know that which particular insect will be selected in the environment. We will see that this green particular insect will be selected. This is what we call as natural selection, and red will be extinct. Red will not be able to survive, because to this bird, this is much visible, and the bird will try to take this one. So what will happen? Gradually the population of this red insect will keep on going down, right? And the population of this green insect will be keeping on going high up, right? It will keep on surviving, and the population is surviving means it is keeping on reproducing. But when we talk about that bird is eating this insect, how much it will be able to reproduce? It will not be able to reproduce in such a manner like that of the green. So gradually what we will see, there will be the declining in the population of this red, and to all of a sudden we will see that this insect will not have any existence in this ecosystem. Only the green will exist, because it is actually fighting, because it can change its color, it can camouflage with the green leaf. So that is the struggle which this insect is doing. So this insect is actually fit to survive. This is what we call as a survival for the fittest. So this will also limit the population. Now nature has given the organisms or the species or a habitat in nature, in a given habitat, it has enough resource to support the maximum possible number, beyond which obviously the growth can not take place. So here again we come to this carrying capacity. I have already explained in the previous video that if we have the 1000 chapatis and we have in our home 23 people, then 23 people 1000 chapatis is maximum. Now if obviously it is to the limited number, obviously if the 23 becomes 25 all of a sudden, for that two particular person the chapati will not be available, right? So this is actually what we call as the carrying capacity of this population, right? So the growth resource in the nature are finite, right, and become limited sooner or later. It is becoming limited. Resource is becoming limited. So this actually leads to the competition, which I have already explained to you. The competition in the species, which results as a survival for the fittest, and this is actually stabilizing the population in a particular area. The population will be getting stabilized in this case, right? This type of population growth actually we will represent in the logistic growth graph, and this logistic growth graph can also be called as the S graph, and we will see how it is happening. S graph, we also call that one as a sigmoid graph. So where too much it is depending on this carrying capacity, how much it will be able to hold the population in that particular resource. The limited resource, how much population it will be able to hold, that is very important over here, right? And when we get this type of population growth, that we call the logistic population growth, that is also named as the Verhulst-Perl logistic growth. Now I will explain you the graph, what we call as a sigmoid graph. So now let's see the sigmoid graph. Sigmoid graph we will again plot against the two axes. we will take the time as usual, and we will take over here the n, which is the population density, right? Now in this case we will get a graph which is like this. So this is actually in the shape of S, which we call as a sigmoid graph, right? Now in this we will see the derivation, that is the formula, where we will again see the dn by dt is actually not equal to Rn. So over here dn by dt is equals to Rn, and along with that k minus n by k, where k is the carrying capacity. K over here is the carrying capacity. So graphically this growth pattern forms an S-shaped graph, and because of that it is known as a sigmoid curve. And this actually shows 5 phases, because of which it is becoming S-shape. What are the 5 phases? Let us see. This is the initial phase, where the time is actually moving forward, but to some extent there is no growth in the population, because due to the limited source, when a particular population is exposed to, it takes lot of time for that population to get adjusted, and that time is not the reproductive phase. So what will happen, that particular species will try to create an environment for the reproduction. So to create an environment, it takes lot of time, right? So there is no such population increase in this particular time. That's why it is known as a lag phase. So suppose over here very less, we can see the time is there, very less increase in the population. So this we call as a lag phase. This is the lag phase. Now there is a positive acceleration phase, which we see in this case, where we can see this is the positive acceleration phase, where we can see the time is there, and along with that there is population increase is there. So this is positive acceleration phase. That means this is number 1, this is number 2. So hope it is understandable to you all. During this phase the population starts growing very steadily or slowly. Exponential logarithm phase is also there, where there is a rapid growth due to the favorable environmental condition. So here we see the exponential growth over here. Very less time is there, very less time, but you can see the growth in the population is too much. So in this case we can see to some extent exponential growth phase. So this is the third phase, where we can see little bit the exponential growth curve, a kind of an exponential growth curve is actually revealed over here. Next phase is the negative acceleration phase. In this phase the slow growth will happen until it reaches to the more or less equilibrium level. And what is that slow growth? Now, suppose for this particular phase, we can see that time is becoming, it is actually moving, the time is actually becoming, and for that there is a very less population, there is a very less population growth. So in this case we can see this one is, if this is the positive acceleration phase, this will be the negative acceleration phase, or we can say this one as what? Deceleration phase. So after that deceleration phase, there will be a stationary phase. We will see that the resource is there, but there is a limit. That means with the time there is no increase in the population, so it is somewhat becoming stable. Okay, so this is what we call as the fifth phase, that is the stationary phase. So when we talk about this 5 phase, if you draw and plot it like this, you get a graph which is in a form of sigmoid or in the form of S shape. This is actually happens in the logistic growth. So if we draw at the same time, if you draw the exponential growth curve actually it happened like this, which we have known as a J-shaped graph, and this is S-shaped graph. For the J-shaped graph, dn by dt was actually Rn, and for the S-shaped graph it is dn by dt equals to Rn multiplied by k minus n by k. This type of growth pattern, it shows by most of the organisms, which actually includes the human beings. This stationary phase, I will give you actually the another terminology, that is asymptote. Here we can also say another word, asymptote. This means there is no such growth, rather there is a declining phase, and after that what happened? There is a stationary phase which is taking place. So in this case we can very nicely explain the growth phase, that is the logistic growth and the exponential growth. So hope this video you have watched and you have understood, and if you have understood, obviously that is the right point. We want you all to make you all understand about this. So kindly go through the video several times for better understanding, and we are ending up over here the logistic growth and the exponential growth graph. Thank you.